All right, hey everybody, this is James, and welcome to the Lake Placid prep. What we're gonna be doing here is documenting all of the training up to Ironman Lake Placid on July 20th, 2025. This is gonna be my second full Ironman after completing Lake Placid last year. I re-signed up, and this year we're coming in with a goal that I'm gonna hide for now. I'll let you guys know later. But I really wanted to create this series kind of as the series that I could have used when I was training for my first one. I'd be lying if I said I knew everything. I'd be lying if I said that I'm the best in the world at Ironman. But I did most of my training kind of through myself and coached by myself. And I'm coaching myself through this next prep as well. And I think through that I've learned a lot, and I have stuff that I can share with someone else who was in the position that I was in last year. Today's bike's gonna be a 10-minute warm-up and then 2 rounds of 20 minutes at 240 watts with a 5-minute recovery, right around like 140 to 160 watts in between. So really just trying to lock in on that comfortably uncomfortable zone. So yeah, get some clips from that, see what's going on, and then we have a run and then a swim tonight. All right, a little bit about me, a little bit about my story and how I got to this point. I was a swimmer for my whole life. From age 6 through the collegiate level, I swam D3 in college, and that's kind of where my obsession with endurance sports comes from. I was always a distance swimmer through college. Swam the mile, swam the 500, 400 IM, and had a buddy who started doing Ironmans. And after watching Lake Placid for a couple of years, I decided that I was going to sign up and train for one. From that point, I didn't really know how to ride a bike. Didn't even know that clip-in pedals were a thing. And I had run one marathon in college, but I had signed up like 3 months in advance from coming from a background of no running. So essentially learned to run and did very poorly in my first marathon after about 3 months. So then once I signed up for Lake Placid, I kind of went all in and started learning. I did a 20-week Phil Mosley program on Training Peaks. And then from there on, I coached myself through the rest of it, kind of using that as inspiration, and ended up finishing my first Ironman in Lake Placid in 11 hours and 45 minutes, which was a lot better than I was expecting, and I had a really good day there. Clearly, we enjoyed the sport enough and enjoyed the process of everything enough to sign up for another one. And since then, I've been training. Yeah, we're training to hit a big PR in the Ironman this year. All right, that is the first of 2 20-minute intervals done. Felt pretty good. Definitely that comfortably uncomfortable towards the end there with the heart rate picking up a little bit the last few minutes. But we got like 3 more minutes of cool down, and then we have another 20-minute segment, so we'll check in after that. All right, it's number 2 done. Another 20 minutes in the bag. Felt a little bit better. Heart rate was lower than the first one. Power stayed the same. But now we got a couple minutes of warm down, then we got to start working, and then I'm gonna be running at lunch, so I'll see you guys then. First mile down, 8:15. All right, we are just about through our warm-up. And then we got 4 to 5 miles on. First tempo mile, 7:18. Probably too fast. second tempo mile, 7:01. Definitely too fast. So we'll see what happens. We do have a nice downhill right here though. Let's go. That's the third one. 7:10, one left. Last mile was a 7:12. It's been a running theme on a lot of these run workouts that I take it out way too hard and kind of fall apart by the end. So I think it'll just come with time and understanding more what certain run paces feel like. It's something that I really understand in the pool, and because I've been doing it my whole life, I know what it feels like to go certain paces in the pool. I just haven't quite unlocked that with the run. We'll get there. Still got a swim left to go today, so gonna get some carbs in me, gonna get some food, and I'll see you at the pool. All right, that is it for the run workout. Let's see what we got here. Ended up being 7 miles on the dot. 7 miles on the dot, 54 minutes, 7:43 average pace per mile. So first 2 warm-up miles were 8:15, 8:18. And then my tempo miles were 7:18, average heart rate 169. 7:01, average heart rate 171. 7:10, average heart rate 174. And then 7:12, average heart rate 181. So heart rate was definitely higher than what I would expect. But I think I'm still coming off a 5K PR last weekend, so maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? But regardless, we're definitely getting more fit. And a year ago, I wouldn't have even been close to these paces for 1 mile, let alone 4. So super exciting. So we got swim later on. I think we're gonna be focusing on some speed stuff, unless the body just completely gives up, and then we'll switch it over to just some easy aerobic stuff. But I'll see you there. All right, so we're off to the pool. We got 4,000 yards today. We're looking at probably mostly speed work. So I think that the best plan for this, especially after hitting 7 miles running earlier and then an hour on the bike this morning, I think that our best way to do this is going to be to keep some short sprint intervals going. So right now my plan is I'm going to do longer than my typical warm-up, which usually sits around 1,200 yards. So I'll probably go a little closer to 2,000 yards warming up. And then I'll probably do a small like preset, maybe some 75s, some underwater work. And then right now my plan for the main set is going to be somewhere between 10 and 20 rounds of 225s all out with a 50 easy in between. So you'll look anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 yards where you're basically doing broken hundreds with 225s fast and then 100 easy. Honestly, I need to start planning my swim workouts a little bit better. I definitely I wind up in this position a lot where I'm driving to the pool and writing the set in my head. I am lucky that I have a couple years of swim coaching under my belt where I did programming as well, so I can kind of build the workouts in my head and I can come up with some pretty good stuff, but I do need to start writing it out in advance like I do my other workouts, because that'll just be beneficial in the long run. I feel super lucky that swimming is the sport that I have a background in. One, I feel like that's what allowed me to train for the Ironman Lake Placid last year and have it only take me a year, going from had never done a triathlon, signing up for the Ironman, to racing and having some success. I had the swimming background. 2.4 miles wasn't a big swim for me, but I had no bike experience, and I had only ran 1 marathon before that, which was I hadn't been running at all, and signed up in my dorm room, and I think I had 3 months going from not running to marathon. So I will leave that up to imagination in terms of how I did on that. But let's just say my Ironman marathon last year was about an hour faster than that marathon during college. So, but I do think that a lot of people that are starting to train for these things that I've spoken to didn't have a swimming background. So if you're trying to go from not swimming at all, and in some cases I've heard people who like didn't know how to swim at all up to Ironman, I think that's the limiting factor. You know, you can kind of get to the 112 miles on the bike, and you can get to the marathon in a relatively short amount of time. But going from not swimming to that 2.4, I mean, I know that it's not a distance that I had to worry about, but like that's a long swim. So definitely a benefit. 2, I also think that being able to have swimming as like my active recovery is super beneficial, because it's probably the sport that, if you're doing it correctly, is the easiest on your body. Maybe the most physically challenging if you're doing hard sets and you're training hard, but at least for an active recovery day, you're not really dealing with any impact from running. You don't have to worry about your knees or anything from the bike. So I think that being a good enough swimmer where I can go hit the water and have it be a recovery day is super beneficial to me. That is a full day of training, not a normal full day of training. Usually Wednesdays I'll have a swim and a run. Well, like I said earlier, I couldn't bike yesterday, so I had to do it today. But, you know, it is what it is. We had to make it work. Still got the sessions in, and honestly went a lot better than I thought, especially this swim being the third workout of the day. The next video is going to be this weekend. I don't know when it'll end up coming out, but I got some fun stuff planned. I got a buddy coming down to spend the weekend and do some training. We are planning on going to our college pool on Saturday and then hitting a big track workout. And then on Sunday we have a long ride planned. And what's going to be pretty cool is this will be the first time for Four Leaf that we have quite a few members coming together and training. Hopefully. Not guaranteed yet, but it'll be the first real training, even if it's just a handful of people for the club. But really, thanks for watching if you're still here. Appreciate you guys. If you're interested in following a little bit more day to day, you can follow my Instagram or my TikTok. I'll throw links down below. And if you're interested in joining Four Leaf, which as of right now is a community of people just working to become better versions of themselves. You could be a runner, you could be a swimmer, triathlete, you could be signing up for your first 5K, you could be an Ironman all-world athlete. Doesn't really matter. It's a spot for you. We're based out in New England, but really anybody's welcome. And we're just trying to create a pretty cool community. So that's it for the day of training, and always remember that we get to do this.